Hello, friends. Welcome you all to the first episode of CIPU Leadership Dialogues. This is going to be a series of short and brief interviews with experts from diverse sectors on matters pertaining to the higher education sector, mainly discussing about the challenges and opportunities faced by the Indian higher education system, how to address them, and how to make India as the global knowledge hub or the Vishwaguru. And that is the vision of CIPU too, moving India towards Vishwaguru. And today we have with us an eminent personality from the higher education sector. A very short introduction about him before we go into the interview. Professor Dr. Gopal Pathak. He is currently the Honorary President of the Confederation of Indian Private Universities, and he is also the Vice Chancellor of Sarala Birla University, Ranchi. Dr. Pathak was earlier the Vice Chancellor of Jharkhand University of Technology. He served as a professor and researcher at BIT Misra for a long time, with his fields of interest being civil engineering and environmental engineering. He is a fellow of the Institute of Engineers, India, life member, Indian Society of Technical Education, fellow of the Institute of Environmental Engineers, and he was a member of the Scientific Advisory Board of various international conferences and was a visiting scholar in Princeton University, University of Technology, Sydney, Stanford University, and many other international universities. It's a pleasure and honor to welcome Professor Gopal Pathak with us. Thank you so much for joining us, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Karthik, for a nice introduction, I should say. And I would like to say something before you ask questions. Really, the situation of higher education, not only in this country, in other countries also, most of the developing nations, is very challenging. Of course, our country is trying to do lots of things in this regard, and with introduction of National Education Policy 2020, a good work has been done by the government. But who will implement it? It would be our responsibility. We, the vice chancellors, or academicians, or teachers, whosoever, who have been associated with higher education sector. So it is our responsibility to implement. To achieve the goal, there are many challenges also. So we have to meet up, or we have to face all those challenges, and we have to give a good shape to the education system of our country.
Definitely. So, without much ado, let me go to the first question. So, with the rapid digital transformation in education, how do you envision the role of digital tools and online platforms in shaping the future of higher education in India?
That's a very good question. Of course, digital tools are going to help us a lot. Mr. Karthik, you recall when some 2 decades back or 3 decades back, digital tools were not much, minimal rather. So in our time when we were students, we could not avail those kind of facilities. But in today's scenario, when lots of advancement has been done in technology, in education sector also, so these tools are now essential. Like in smart classroom, if you visualize how a dam is designed or how a building is designed, you can see everything visually, and you will be having a very clear concept of the subject. In my time, when I was a student during the 70s, we used to think like, we used to imagine of our own. This component of the bridge would be like this or like that. So some imagination, maybe wrong, maybe right sometimes. But these days, a better concept of any subject one can have by using these digital tools. Online education, I observed particularly during COVID period, so that was a requirement. So of course, things went on, and the advantages, I would say like that, you can get connected to any of the universities of the world. Like in Sarala Birla University, recently I had a connect with Harvard University, a professor of Harvard University. I requested him, he agreed, and he delivered a very good talk on business ethics. That was for the students of management and faculty of management. So this is one of the best advantages of this kind of online education. Similarly, NPTEL, National Program on Technologically Enhanced Learning, NPTEL is doing good job. Many students, those who are unable to get the opportunity to study, to go to the proper school or college, anybody can learn, even a senior person, a retired person, or a young teacher, or any student of any age. He can get himself registered, and through NPTEL, one can update himself in any of the areas, particularly this 4.0 industrialization. In 10 years back, some chapters were not there in the syllabus also, like artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, IoT, cyber security, etc., and many more topics. Blockchain technology and all were not there in the syllabus. So many students or many teachers, they had also not studied. But now everybody has got an opportunity to update themselves in the area or any area, any topic related to arts also. Advancement you may find, particularly the technology. Every year we are getting some new ideas. What ideas we had seen in 2010 that is obsolete today. So this digital facilities or digital tools and online learning, of course, there is a benefit. Students can get benefited sitting in Ranchi or any place in India or any part of the world from a learned professor from any part of the world. So that is the basic facility. But during COVID times, only one negative aspect I'm telling you. So offline teaching, why do I prefer a blended mode? It happens many a times, or work from home kind of things we had observed. Simply they are switching it on and they are not listening to the lectures, but the attendance is being marked. So they are cheating themselves because ultimately they are the losers, they have not learned. And nobody can have control on those things. So even to my students, in worst case scenario, I tell them to join online courses. Offline, definitely a teacher can monitor in the classroom, but there is not more option. So here, what we always think about education with spirituality. Why do we think about this? We have to think like that. We have to be honest to ourselves. Teachers is trying hard, is trying to teach you online mode. There also it is a prime duty to listen to all those things. So a basic kind of training should be given to the students also. Spirituality, I tell you, that is not a religion or something like that, but your behavior, your thought, your attitude. Like if you are a student, behave like a student, try to learn more and more. So overall, I tell you, this is a very advantageous position. We can use online courses, and even with full honesty and integrity, I tell you, for the teacher side, best presentation should be given to the students, because so many students, they are listening to you. And of course, these tools are very, very beneficial for the advancement or upliftment of higher education.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your insights. Research and innovation are critical components of a thriving higher education system. So, what strategies do you believe Indian universities should adopt to foster a robust research culture and encourage innovation among students and faculty?
Again, this is a very valid question, and it is a requirement of the day, I should say, in any research, some innovative ideas. Normally, what happens, we have seen from last so many years, if any student get registered for his or her PhD, and before that also MTech thesis or BTech thesis or any science thesis, normally what happens, the teacher is the supervisor. He or she guides them throughout the thesis. And normally it happens, many of times it has been observed, exceptions could be there. In whatever I think on my topic, suppose my student is there, I tell them you have to do like this. All the time he is doing the work as per my instruction. So the end result would be he cannot do anything more beyond my knowledge what I am having, because the freedom has not been given to him. And teacher, once he feels that I am satisfied, okay, the project is complete or the thesis is complete, but think about the scenario. Whatever I have learnt in my lifetime or my research period, that much only I can impart to the candidate. He should be given full freedom to think about the problem, and maybe he can suggest better ideas than me. Innovation, something innovation, the next generation, they have different kind of tools as you were talking about the digital tools. So now they have many resources also, and they can find better solution than a teacher. Of course, a teacher has to be there as a guide. So here I would like to give one example, and the things should be very clear to everyone, and the message should go to everyone, all the researchers. During my Princeton University days, when I was there as a visiting professor, I met one Indian student, and head of the department introduced me with that lady. So she was from India, so I asked two, three questions. So where did you do your master's from and BTech? Then she said, I graduated from Jadavpur University. Then I did my master's from IIT Kanpur. I got selected for PhD in Princeton, so I came to Princeton. My next question was, how did you find Princeton different than other institutions? She said, I can give you the answer in one line. I said, yeah, go ahead. She said, Princeton taught me how to think. I asked, say again. She repeated, Princeton taught me how to think. Then I gave a smile. I said, means other institutions, they did not teach you how to think. Then she said, sir, I will give you an example. Wherever I studied earlier, the topic was allotted and the guide was allotted, whether BTech level or MTech or. I was a sincere student from my school days. Very next day, I went to the guide and asked him, what should I do now? The guide gave me some instructions. You do these experiments, this, and within a week you submit the report. I did it accordingly. Then what next, sir? Sir will give me some, again, problems or instructions. Accordingly, I did, and finally, in 1 year of time, I completed my thesis. And I got a grade and everything, excellent grade. I was very happy, like a good student. On the contrary, here also, the DRC was there. Guide, allotment of guide was done. Topic was also allotted. So like a very sincere and committed student, very next day I went to my guide and I asked her, ma'am, what I'm supposed to do now? She said, the topic has already been allotted and you are doing research, you are doing PhD in your subject. I am not doing PhD on this topic. So you go, there are many resources are there in the library, e-resources also they are available. So you make your own road map. Why should you come to my office every day? You have to work independently. She said, I was feeling like crying at that stage. The guide told me, don't come to my room and meet me after 1 month once you have made the road map. She said, I went to the library. I was feeling very upset. Should I go back to India or something like that? Or should go to some other university? So in the meanwhile, one researcher, she looked at me and said, poor lady, you are very disturbed. What's the issue? Then I narrated the entire thing. Then he said, yeah, why should you go to the guide all the time? The topic has been decided. It is your topic. It is your problem. So entire resources are over here in this library. You go through it, study it thoroughly, many publications, literature review, and you prepare a roadmap. And the roadmap could be better than what your guide would have decided. So don't underestimate yourself. She said, slowly and slowly, I was enjoying my work. And within 1 month, I prepared a draft, showed it to the guide. She was happy. She told me, yeah, you are on the right track. Go ahead. And now you meet me after 3 months when you have done some extensive work. And similarly, she said, I went on. And after few months or 1 year, I became so independent in thinking and all. And the guide told me, you are doing better than me, what I would have suggested. So that kind of freedom should be given to all the researchers, and it is not necessary that they should always be given a strict instruction by the guide. So here the line everybody would understand, any guide is having some limitations in his area. He cannot go beyond that. But a new researcher, with all these related to first question, with all these tools, he or she may think better and can give you a better result. So how to think that this should be made independent in thinking. So this line I always quote before my research students, other teachers also. This institute taught me how to think. So allow them to think independently and they can do a better work and they can give a better result. So
Great.
that's my answer.
Thanks a lot for sharing your valuable experience. So, moving on to my next question. The evolving job market demands new and diverse skill sets. So, how can higher education institutions in India better align their curricula with industry needs to bridge the skill gap and ensure graduates are prepared for the future workforce?
Very true. These kind of problems we are also facing every day in our university, and I'm sure all the vice chancellors must be facing this kind of problems and the challenge. The solution would be like in all the courses, the syllabus need to be revised. Of course, every university they do it. So while forming the board of studies, we must include experts from various industries where normally the students are supposed to go or join. If we are in touch with them, we would be able to know what kind of requirement they are having. Recently, one of the recruiters came to my office and I asked him about the performance of our students. He said like that some of them are really good, but some of them even they don't know coding. So I got that weakness or the shortcomings in our system. I discussed with the professors. And I said, of course, inclusion of more and more experts from the industries and also to train them up in the area of coding. So the feedback from the industry person is a requirement, is a must. And of course, in board of studies, if those kind of experts are there, they can redesign the syllabus and they can suggest us that those routine kind of things or many topics even have become obsolete that we are carrying it on from last so many years, they need to be deleted and a fresh syllabus need to be designed with the suggestions of the industry persons because they finally know how they are going to use the students. Like one example here also I would like to give you. As I talked about 4.0, now this is the era of 5.0. Quantum computing, for example, in all the developed nations syllabus, it is already there. People are working on that. Recently, one professor from Purdue University visited our university in physical mode because he has come to Ranchi and delivered such a talk on quantum computing. Definitely, our teachers had not much idea in that area. So, this is the right time. We must go through 5.0 industries and industries also related to this kind of work. Wherever they are working, 90 sectors, the huge demand of this topic will be there. So they should be included in the board of studies. We should revise the syllabus and time to time a good interaction between the faculty, academia and industry should be there. Maybe a workshop in 6 months or even 3 months quarterly meeting could also be organized so that we can update ourselves. As I told you in the earlier, when you asked me earlier question, even 4.0 things, many things got revised recently in many of the higher education institutions, inclusion of AI. Now people they are talking about AI and all, but for last two years before or 3 years before, hardly few universities they were talking about AI. While in American university in the year 2000, recently I was talking to a professor of America. He said in our syllabus it is from year 2000. So we should also study and check what other countries they are doing, advanced countries and all. And now with the again the digital tools and all, it is available on the website. So we should see the syllabus of other good institutions and pick up some good topics. As 4.0 also in many universities, even today I tell you, it's not included, not in all the universities, but some of the universities, the topics which I mentioned earlier like AI or machine learning, deep learning, IoT, cyber security, quantum computing, blockchain technology, etc., they are not much, they have not been included in the syllabus. So that is the requirement of the day. So we have to be in close contact with the industry persons. Without industry persons, the syllabus cannot be complete.
Wonderful. True words of wisdom. Thank you so much, Dr. Pathak, for sharing your valuable thoughts with us today. And it was a pleasure having you with us today. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Karthik.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for everything.
Thank you.